Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to War 10 of Season 38. Today I have Nimrod, Miles and Titania, and I'm going to be going up path 2 and then heading into path 5. This is going to be kind of a war of spot how many mistakes Bitter makes. It was a pretty dodgy one at times, but yeah, we'll get onto those later. So starting off with this Dragon Man, then the Mysterio, and the Man Thing, heading into path 5, Galan, Omega Sentinel, Sasquatch, Rintrah, and on Boss Island, Domino and Knull. So starting off with this Dragon Man, pretty straightforward fight for Titania. Whenever she applies a non-damaging debuff, which is all the time, you pause his timer that he gets his power charges back from, so once you've got rid of them, they don't come back very often. Basically just going to be trying to parry whenever he's got the charge. If he throws a special during it, I'll just take it on block if it's a special 1, or he gets rid of it himself if it's a special 2. Just using my Haymaker to stay aggressive there. Gonna bait out this SP2, he throws it, power charges back, so I'm just gonna tap him a couple times, go back and try and parry. He doesn't go into it, so he throws SP1 into my block, that applies debuff to me, bit of willpower healing, gets rid of his charge, activate my Haymaker, go in for the SP2, does a nice chunk of damage, just bait out this SP1, don't need to take it on block because I know that this combo is going to kill. And if it hadn't, then I've got the SP1 ready. So pretty smooth fight. Next up with this Mysterio, what I could be doing is baiting out SP1 and using the Haymaker to tank any damage, but that's a bit risky in war. I'd probably try it if it was less high pressure. So what I'm going to be doing is trying to push him to SP2 while I've got my Haymaker ready, so that when he applies his power drain to me, I can just go in using my Haymaker and hit normally. If that makes me miss, it's fine because I'm indestructible and unstoppable. I've just got to make sure to stop hitting before the end of it. So I'm just holding on to Haymaker for a bit because I want to activate it around the time that he goes over a bar of power. That way I can use it to push him over to SP2. Unfortunately, he throws his SP1 into my block, which is not very nice of him, so it just slows down the tempo a little bit of the fight. But he didn't have too much gas, so I can just go back in after the short period where I can't hit him. Throw my SP2, I've got Haymaker back, bait out the heavy, push him to SP2. And I'm just going to hit him a few times, give him the space to throw it if he needs to. He throws it, I've got my Haymaker, I can dash back in. If I miss, I'm fine. I've got my eye on the duration of my Haymaker, so I'm prepared to stop just before the end of it, but the last hit kills him. And that's a pretty safe fight. So for this Man Thing, I'm going to be using a Power Start 1, that just helps me control Strike Counter Fury a little bit better. When I get the opportunity, I'm going to throw my heavies to keep up my stagger, which will hopefully help deal with masochism over time a little bit better. I do have Despair as a secondary option for that. Applying lots of debuffs will cancel out the regen. So I'm just going to build a little bit of power first before I throw my SP1 because I don't want to reset myself completely. Activate Haymaker and dash forward, just throw my SP1 while I'm unblockable, that way it definitely connects. And then I go in here, I parry and wait a little bit too long, he recovers and resists with stand your ground and parries me, which kind of sucks. And then I push myself to SP2, I thought I was going to still be on SP1, so that was another mistake. Now my power is completely reset, so I'm probably going to have to deal with his Furies at some point. So just keeping up that stagger so that next time Masochism is off cooldown, it will be removed. trying to throw my special in time so that I don't have to deal with too much of that fury. Activate Haymaker here, I'm just going to throw my heavy attack to get some more power. He resists that as well. Now I'm going to bait out this SB2. I've got my eyes on the Fury, which are stacking up a little bit at the moment, so I definitely don't want him to go to SB3. But I know that with 15 seconds on the Haymaker cooldown, I can throw a combo and an SP1 and be able to tank his SP3, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, we're back on track. I throw my heavy here just in case it connects. If not, his special will just go into my Haymaker. And this fight's almost over. One more combo does it. So a little bit of a shaky fight at times, but Titania handles it very well. Moving on to this Galan. So the plan is to use my Haymaker to tank his Harvest and his Special 2 if needed. If he throws Special 1, that's fine, but I'd rather push him to SB2 if I can. Titania counters this node very well, as we've seen in the past. She can tank the Power Sting damage, and she counters the Power Snack, since she's buff immune. So because Galan is Conduit, I'm not going to be knocking him down. I'll be going to my SP3. I believe I have Science Power Back boosters, which is great for Titania because her Special 3 does so much damage. I'm just starting off with my light attacks. I'm holding on to Haymaker so I can tank his SP2. Just pushing him up there. And unfortunately he uses SP1 here and I fail the dex. A little bit frustrated. I dash back in with my Haymaker. I shouldn't have done that because now he goes into Harvest and my Haymaker is just over. So I eat a bit of Harvest damage, that's okay. I can tank 3 or 4 more of those and the fight won't be going on that long. So I'm just going to bait out this special here. Let him throw it and then go back in, tap him a few times on the block to build up my suppressions and some more furies, throw my special 3. So again, because of Conduit, I'm not going to go in and do my heavy, I'm just going to combo him. And at this point, I don't really want to be dealing with another special 2, so I just, regardless of the Power Sting, it doesn't do too much damage, I just throw my special 2 just to finish off the fight. So, eating a bit of health, but I can just heal up and go again. Moving on to this Omega Sentinel on path 5. This is a little bit of an ideal matchup. It's not awful, but most of the time I'd probably try and fit someone else on my team for it. But just with the way that planning worked out, it meant I had to take this fight with Titania. She can counter Omega Sentinel pretty well, but it's a bit of a slower fight because you don't get as much tempo, because when you're fighting Omega Sentinel you want to do parry, medium, light, medium, or light, medium, light, medium. But with Titania I don't want to finish my combo, so I'm just going light, medium, light, because I want to control when I trigger Haymaker. The good thing is that if you have Haymaker when she does get to 5 armors, she can't auto block you, so it does pretty well to control the fight. Just eating the last hit of that special 1 just so that I get some willpower healing. And yeah, as you can see, she's controlling it pretty well. I go for intercept there, which I shouldn't have, and my indestructible boost is gone. Luckily I did use that boost because otherwise that could have been bad. Just using the Haymaker to push her to a bar of power while she has 5 armors, like I said. No auto block, which is fantastic. Now I'm just waiting for the protection to come back so that I can get myself an intercept and then go for the special 3. There's the intercept, and here's the special 3. You don't want to throw your special 3 just at a random moment against ebb and flow intercept because the protection might come back halfway through, and that would be bad. And I get enough power back from the special 3 with the power back boosters, and I just go in for a heavy and then throw my special 1. And I'm just going to heal up Titania again. This is starting to become a bit of an item heavy war. Using my energy refill just so I can make use of my boosts. And now for Sasquatch on Ebb and Flow Intercept. Titania is great for this because you can stack a lot of debuffs, but unique to science champs in general, you don't need your debuffs to stick around. So Mighty Charge isn't really a problem, plus she has the Haymaker for easy intercepts to take the protection off. So I'm just going to finish with a medium here just to push him to an SP2. I find it easy to deal with in the SP1. Sometimes you're a bit out of range and you can get parried if you go back in. So I find it's just safer to push him to SP2. Got my Haymaker back here. Just going to trigger it, try and get him to come in, take a hit on block. Takes the protection off, he triggers Wrath. I'm just going to back off a bit. I don't want to throw my SP3 while he's in Wrath really because he might be too aggressive. Get my intercept in, Wrath's over, Mighty Charge is off, and I throw my special 3. Does a nice chunk of damage. He's in the 40% phase where he should be regenning, but because I'm reversing his healing, he doesn't. He tries to resist a heavy just at the end there, but we finish him off. And that was a very smooth fight, unlike this one. So this Rintrah is usually fine. You've seen me take it, but I make a bit of a stupid mistake partway through. I'll call it out when we get to it. So it's a pretty similar node to the one we've just faced, and the strategy is pretty much the same, except just got to deal with Rintrah's kit, knocking him down when he gets close to 10, ideally before. He doesn't play into this Haymaker at all, so I don't get the intercept just yet, but that's fine. Most of the damage comes after this SP3 anyway. Get my intercept there, he's on 8 charges, I'm just going to re-parry there, knock him down. Try not to dex too much when the neutralizer's on you, because that can feed his mystical charges. Technique's back, got my Haymaker. I'm going to go in here and just do a heavy to knock him down. I don't really mind about the intercept right now. Just going to take that SP2 on block so I know it won't do too much damage and I don't want to risk getting hit by it. And here I go for the intercept and I let him dash at me. The Mighty Charge triggers while I throw my SP3. He's debuff immune and I realise it straight away. I come out and none of my debuffs are there. So I'm annoyed with myself. I mean, it's not like I'm going to time out in this fight, but it's just a stupid mistake and leave room for more error to creep in. So, a bit annoyed at that one, but I'm just going to go back to another SP3. Shouldn't be too bad. Knocking him down just to control his charges. Got my Haymaker. I throw it, but he throws his SP1. That's fine, I'll knock him down again. I've got my SP3 back now, all I need is an intercept, and I dash back and get caught. He applies a rupture to me, so I can't hit him with any more light attacks, otherwise the ruptures will start stacking up. I mean, it's fine now, because willpower's healing me, but I don't want to hit him anymore. So I throw a heavy just to control his charges, use the last bit of my Haymaker to get an intercept, and I make sure I throw my special 3 while I'm hitting him this time. So get it off, get all the debuffs, that's nice. And just to add insult to injury, he resists a heavy and then throws another SP2 while he's intimidated. I throw my special 1 to finish off the fight, and that fight is, thank God, over. So definitely a bit of a mistake there, but you know, we're all good in the end. So next up we have this Domino on Hazard Shift. I'm going to be taking it with Nimrod. It's a pretty safe fight, you just gotta kind of waste time during the Incinerate phase. I'm either going to be hitting into her block, or more likely I'll be parrying and re-parrying just to build up my armors, and that means I get more damage when I'm in my orange or blitz phase. So stun immunity actually makes this an easier fight because I can build up way more armors than I usually would be able to. Just starting off by wasting time during this incinerate phase, and now that it's in poison, I can carry on. Just changing my mode back to the armor phase so I can carry on building my armors. Make sure not to finish any combos against Domino while she's lucky, because she could come back and slap you. Bit out of the special, we're back in the incinerate phase, so again, back to wasting time, and now we can carry on. So I'm going to go for 1 SP1, just to get into my eradicate phase, and that means that I can go to an SP2 and throw a big one. Just got to make sure that I get back up to 10 charges before it ends. It's usually easy to do, but she's not doing too many attacks at me, so I just managed to get it off before it's over. Back in the poison phase, throw off a big SP2, hope that this kills. If not, it's fine. It just falls short. So I'll go back in, not wanting to hit her too much during lucky, just in case she does come back and hit me. We're in the incinerate phase again, so I'm just going to hit into a block. I know that another combo or two will finish it off, so I'm just waiting for the poison to come back. Here we go. Combo almost does it. SP1 finishes it off. So for this Knull, we had one of our members go into that Mephisto, and not naming any names, but it didn't go to plan. We tried anti-venom, but it wasn't great. Definitely going to try a different option there. And because we didn't have any other good backup options, our best was a Mr. Fantastic, which obviously doesn't work during Conduit. I put my hand up and said, nope, that's fine, I'll take Knull with the aspect of evolution up. How hard can it be? And the answer is a lot harder than I expected. I mean, we were up on bonuses, so it wasn't, you know, a deciding fight. But my deathless season was in the balance, so I definitely overstepped a little bit on that one. But we'll go into the fight and see what happens. This last 10% really keeping me on the edge. He doesn't throw that special, so I've got to deal with a special 2 now. He throws it just about in time. Go back in, throw my heavy. That's all fine. He's carrying on throwing his specials very nicely. And then here, he doesn't throw his special 1. So I go in for another heavy, thinking it'll be fine. It pushes him red, and at this point I was just panicking. And he's got a taunt on him, he's just been knocked down. It is the perfect storm of AI being more likely to throw specials, and we all know that the AI loves to throw their special 3s. He has so much more attack because of aspect of evolution. He throws this, I'm dead. and the Deathless season is over. But he doesn't throw it. He just holds on, lets me hit him while he's unstoppable. He doesn't even throw it after the first hit. He just lets me hit him, and lets me KO him, and lets the Deathless season survive. Like I said, we ended up winning this war. We were up on attack bonuses, which is great. We've definitely got Plat 1 at this point, which is fantastic. Really happy with how this season's gone. I'm not so happy with how this war went. I made far too many mistakes. But we will be back soon for War 11. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.